Hello, this is Irvin in Västervik. I'm on my way to Madeira with the airplane, but there is no airplane from Västervik. Mostly people fly from Stockholm, Arlanda, but it takes many hours to get there and the airplane starts very early. But luckily, my friend Thomas Gran, spelled Golf Romeo Alpha Hotel November, is here to help me out. He lives on the sloop to the
airport in Gothenburg.
Landvetter. And I know him since 2007, because 2007 he was 19 years old and he came here. I don't eat foreign food, but you know, this is yeah, he keeps eating such things, and now he will tell a bit more, you know, so now you can.
So, like Sven said, this is where we first met, and actually I was here with a friend, and we wanted to get some tips on how to sail the world. So, who better to ask than Sven Irvin? And we sat here on this very pizzeria and planned my first ocean crossing, which started to take place just a few weeks after we met here for the first time,
Yeah.
right?
And one of the big things was to buy the self-steering. They had idea of self-steering, keep moving. And but it was like 15,000 kroner, and it was like a third of the budget. And I said, no, don't do that. You know, it's better to use an elastic cord. You know. And Thomas, he's a doubting man. So what did you think about that?
When you said that we should use a piece of rubber band to make the boat steer itself across a big ocean, I was not too happy with your idea, but since I had no money, I had to pretty much accept. And when you later offered to follow me to Florida or come along on the trip, it was a no-brainer, because you had to, I thought at least, that you could show me how it worked.
But instead, I handed him a book by John Letcher, self-contained, self-steering for sailing yachts or something like that, things like this. And I said, read this. Shall we take this way or that way? Okay. So, but it was like this. The plan was that Thomas and his friend was going to sail, and I didn't hear anything from them for like 3 weeks. So one day I phoned and said, how is it going? And he said, it's up. You know, my friend quit and the trip is not going to be. Well, I said, then you have to sail by yourself. Yes, said Thomas, but I've never been away from home for more than a week, you know. I've never been sailing in the night, and the furthest I've been sailing is to Denmark. Well, I said, I can help you, that you get a good start, and I'll lend you a rubber boat and a sextant. And then it took some time, and then the answer. And what did you say?
if you're willing to go with me all the way to Florida, I can't turn down an offer like that when Zlatan Ibrahimovic offers you to teach you how to score a goal. You certainly say yes. So I had to take that opportunity to go with Sven.
But I didn't tell you I'm going to go all the way to Florida. Should have in the beginning. But anyway, was the boat well prepared? Or what was it?
Yes, me and my friend had prepared it well, and we got new curtains for the side windows, and we thought this was the best boat in the whole wide world. So very proud. I showed the boat to Sven, and his first and only word was "oh" when he saw the boat. This is big.
So we had about a month to fix up everything, because now it was July, I think, and we had to cross the North Sea, and we had to cross the Bay of the Biscay, and so we got very busy, and we found out about the Vega, and it was not a good rudder they had, and the mast step was not good either, and there was a lot of things we needed to do, but we worked very hard on it. And Thomas, being much younger than me, did most of the work, and I was directing it. But after about a month in August, we were ready to leave. So, what do you say? What happened?
Finally the day got when we were supposed to leave. I was very excited to start this big journey of mine together with you, Sven.
Yes.
And I said, okay, let's go across the big ocean straight away and go to England.
Well, let's say, take it easy, you know. Now it's already late August, and we like to make the crossing as short as possible. So better follow the coast down to the tip and make a natural to Scotland.
But and that was Sven's plan, to wait for the good weather. But finally I convinced him that we should go straight away anyways, even if the weather report wasn't that good. And we hit some big winds. Was it 50 knots of wind?
Yes, 50 knots of wind.
And this old sailing Vega crashed into the waves, and the water was pouring into the boat, and we got all soaking wet, and were freezing. The boat was cracking, and I was really terrified, the most terrified I've ever been in my whole life. And the only security in the whole wide world is Sven, and I asked him, do you think the boat's gonna hold up? And I don't know, he says, and continue reading his book. So I'm out on the North Sea with this crazy old man that's given me a rubber band and a book on how to use them, and think I'm gonna go to the bottom with him and this old boat.
But anyway, we survived, and after 4 days we came to Scotland, and what helped us, we had survival suits, you know. So when the water was dripping down on us, we were dry. And that was a good help, but you know, the boat was a mess, and the interior had delaminated from the hull, but we had the NM epoxy with us, and we glued the boat together again. And then we took the Fort Clyde Canal from Edinburgh to Glasgow, and also in the canal there was trouble. We were still working with the boat, you know, and the rigging was not very tensioned, and I was looking down below, you know, for the chain plates, and I was tightening it up, and it didn't come. And I said, captain, as I called him, because he was really the captain, go and look on deck, and it was all broken. So I told him, captain, this boat is rotten.
And that's when that was the first time I got really, really sad on the trip. My idol Sven, who's with me on this trip to go across the ocean, says that my fine boat is rotten to the core.
But anyway, we continued,
I managed to convince you to still keep going across the Atlantic, right?
Yeah, that's it. And then we came out in the Clyde, and then we got a terrible squall, and we came into that marina. What was it called?
Bangor?
No, before Bangor, on the other side, where we left before Bangor, on the Scottish side.
Can't remember.
Well, anyway, the people said, they didn't really believe much in this old boat, Strength in numbers, and you better wait here for the winter, and come back next summer. And if you're lucky, take you 3 weeks to go to Belfast. And the engine been broken all the time, it run a bit and then it stopped, and then we fixed it and it dropped. And on the way to this Kip Marina, was it called? There, finally, yellow light turned on, saying, there's no oil pressure on it. So anyway, next day was a Sunday, and the Sunday night, I kind of saw the sunshine come out, so I told Captain, let's leave. And we had a tour out of the harbor, and then we got a very strong winds, And well, the captain never gets seasick, so he was very happy. He was sitting there out singing, And I said, no, let's take it a bit easy, take in a reef, because these sails are going to bring us all the way to Florida. And the sails were from 1973, and this was 2007. But things went on. And in the next morning, we were in what's it called, this place in Ireland? Belfast, right? In the marina there. And there was only one problem. We needed a visa for US, a US visa. You can go there by airplane. Without the visa, you just sign a waiver and everything was okay. But when you come on the boat, there's no use for the waiver. So, well, anyway, our captain is very good at filling in forms and things like that, and we asked the man in the marina, and he knew all about that. We have to get pictures of ourselves, and we have to do this and do that, and we have to fill in forms, and well, captain did everything, And then, but of course, to get the visa, we had to have give them a 10-day notice and all these things. But we said, no, this is an emergency, and they helped us, and well, the next day we got the visa to the US. And now we only have to go down to the south of Ireland, to Kinsale. And so we waited for another low pressure, and one night, it was a gale warning, and we went out, and we timed the tide right, so we were running south with 11 knots over the ground, and in 36 hours we sailed from Belfast to Kinsale. And now it was only the Atlantic left. And I said, we had filled up with plenty of food, One thing was sure, we was not going to run out of food and chocolate. So we filled up, maybe I had 20 kilos chocolate or something like that.
200 oranges and 20 kilos of chocolates and 20 kilos of raisins. Yeah.
So, and how did we get the fruit? Well, one day I saw a car that says fruit on. I said, Captain, run and stop that car. And there was a fruit lorry and of course a fruit van. And so we ordered all these things. And so the whole boat was filled with everything. And then we left finally. And so we sailed across the Bay of Biscay. And shall we tell them when you were out swimming?
Yes, when we got a little bit south, in the south of Bay of Biscay, I wanted to take a swim. And Sven, he advised me that you have to have a lifeline when you go swimming, and I said, no, it's no problem. There's no wind. I can just swim here.
And you've been competition swimmer too.
Yeah, a competitive swimmer. And so I'm jumping in the water, and Sven sees a little bit of wind, so he pulls the sheet to get some speed on the boat.
I didn't even do that.
Yeah. I saw what you did, and sailed away from me. So I was sitting alone in the Bay of Biscay, hundreds and hundreds of sea miles from shore, and maybe 1,000 meters to the bottom. And I have this crazy bearded guy sailing my boat away from me. So that was the second time I was really scared on this trip. But eventually he turned the boat around and picked me up.
And then he had a lifeline after that. And then I got scared because one day we had had a gale, and there was water over the, what is it called, the bilgeboard, or you know,
The cockpit?
no, inside the boat, you know.
Ah, yeah.
What is standard? Well, anyway, you know, was filled with water. But that came in from the back, you know, because it was so heavy, so luckily we could pump out it. But the batteries were gone, but we repaired it and we fixed it. And then another scary thing happened one night when. Was it me or was it you?
I was
Wait.
the weather was completely calm, so we had no sails up. We were just lying in the middle of the ocean and waiting for the wind. So in the middle of the night, I go up on deck to go to the toilet, and I feel the whole boat is electric. It's electrified, and I'm looking around, and I hear a strange noise. Looking up to the top of the mast, I see a glowing ball with small sparks coming out of it from the top of the mast, and I scream for Sven. This is the third time I'm really scared. We have a glowing ball in the mast. And he's slow, as usually Sven, the more you pressure him, the more slow he goes. So he was coming slowly out of bed, looking at this glowing ball, and calmly just says, that's St. Elmo's fire. We will probably get hit by lightning soon. And so that was not too reassuring. So we were sitting there through the night listening to lightning strikes hitting around the boat, and this glowing ball in the mast, making sure that the scenery was really, really tensed. But the story actually ends well, and we didn't get hit by lightning.
And then after 58 days, what we passing through the Bahamas, crossing the Gulf Stream, and at that time the engine was working, and then we saw the high-rise building. Should we continue this way? Okay. To in Florida. And what was this inlet we went into? I don't remember, but it was north of Stewart anyway. And so we tied up there, but there was only one marina, you know, we could enter custom. And we saw a dock there, but this was a pump out dock. So they said, you have to leave there. No, but we had no engine, you know, and nothing. But anyway, we talked with them, and I said, well, you can leave, stay there tomorrow. And then next day, we went to the airport, got our passport stamped, and then we phoned Matt Layden, my friend, and we went down to Stewart, and so then I flew home.
So that was really the end of the story with Sven Yrvind making me a competent ocean sailor, wouldn't you say?
Yes. How has your career been after that? Have you been sailing after that?
Yes, so
It was 2007, right?
that trip made me confident enough to actually take on the journey to go back to Sweden all by myself. So
So you become the youngest single-handed sailor in Sweden. And then he saw, there's a lot of opportunities in the United States in the charter business. But after 2007 came 2008 and the charter business collapsed. But anyway, you got about to deliver up to Germany.
yes, so I've been sailing quite a lot since then, but not as much as you have, Sven. And,
Yes, I think.
the reason we're here today is what we started to talk about. Tomorrow we're going to Gothenburg, right?
Yeah. And in Gothenburg, I'm going to make this test for Corona on Monday. And on Wednesday, I got a ticket for the airplane to Madeira. And that is where my boat is. So I'm going to sail out into the North Atlantic, maybe reaching the Sargasso Sea, and then coming back in autumn, and then continue with the prototype.
So say hi to the Atlantic from me, Sven.
To the
Atlantic.
Yeah, I will do. And thank you for listening to this. Goodbye.